Dr. Goldner, you proved that if your mind isn't constantly thinking about being sick, it might help the recovery than constantly dwelling on the disease.
Yeah, so this thing is that, your neck attaches this head to our bodies, right? And so all the different things that we think and feel, those are all chemicals. They're signals that are sent out into the body. And they have shown that people with diseases like cancer, as well as autoimmune diseases and heart disease, other things, they often have higher rates of depression, of trauma, especially cancer and autoimmune disease specifically. I mean, folks with autoimmune diseases, they can have 60% or higher rates of things like childhood trauma than other people, according to some studies. So it's a really interesting phenomenon. And it shows how there's this feedback of what's going on. Also, what we find is people who have positive outlooks, happier people, they tend to feel less pain. And some of that is actually physical. And in my own personal life, when I was going through the chemotherapy, as positive a person as I am, I hated chemotherapy. And I found that I would wake up the morning of chemo already feeling kind of nauseous and down. Because it sucked. And I would usually do it on Friday so I could puke all weekend and try to get back to school by like Tuesday. So it was all planning around school, And every dose I got was a higher dose than the one before it. So every time it was just worse and horrible. Well, my final dosage of chemotherapy, which was right before I left for college, was the highest dose I'd ever gotten. But I woke up that day so excited because it was the final chemo, so I came downstairs and I'm like in a good mood, instead of my normal mopey, like, chemo day. I was so excited. I'm like, let's do this. So I walk into the hospital, I'm excited. Normally they're having trouble getting my vein, get it the first try because I'm relaxed. Everything's dilated. Right in, had the highest dose of chemo I ever had. I had 0 side effects. It would take me 3 weeks to recover from a dose of chemo because the first 5 days I'd be throwing up and then I'd be weak and dehydrated. And then by the 4th week, I'd finally start to feel better. And then it's time to do it again. So I spent 2 years like that. Highest dose I ever got, 0 side effects. So at 18, I was like, that's interesting. What was different? I wonder if I'd been that optimistic and positive the whole time, if I would have not had side effects. When you tell yourself, I'm sick, I'm nauseous, your body goes, I'm sick, I'm nauseous. And when you tell yourself, I'm done, I'm finished, I'm healthy, I'm good, your body's like, oh, I'm done, I'm finished, I'm healthy, I'm good. And so, listen, it's not 100%. I still, even in my positive mindset, would have joint pain. And I took my COX-2 inhibitors for that. I'd get a migraine and I'd take my medicine for that. But it was really fascinating how the more positive and focused I was on my excitement for life, the less I noticed or felt symptoms of my illness. And so that's why I also focus on is doing everything I can to bring up people's sense of gratitude and purpose and happiness. Because if you do that, you can feel good today, even before you're finished healing, number one. And number two, it will accelerate the healing process because that positive, happy mood does create more health in people. So all of it is all connected.